Hello and welcome to Sketch Together. This is part of a series on Sketch Basics, and on this session we're going to learn how to use layout grids, and this is super useful when you're working with responsive design or probably with CSS frameworks like Bootstrap. So it's going to probably help you a lot in your workflow and make your designs pixel perfect. Oh, I hate that word, but anyway, yeah, it's going to help you do that. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so let's learn how to work with layout grids. Layout grids will come in pretty handy if you're using CSS frameworks like Bootstrap. And usually these layout grids have around 12 columns or 6 columns or 8, but usually it's around 12 columns. So let's take a look at what you can do. So as you can see here, there's a grayed out area, and that's my layout grid that is being seen on my artboard. And for example, here I created 960 pixels with layout grid of 12 columns. And if you see, my elements snap to that layout grid. So as you would expect it to do. Now automatically the spacing and the sizing adjust to that gutter of 30 pixels. So let's see how I did it. So over here, I select my artboard and I go to View, Canvas, Layout Settings. And here in the layout settings, you will see how many columns I can add, the total width of my layout grid, and then also the offset. Usually you just want to center it. And then automatically, let's say that I want it to be, instead of 960, I want it to be 780. So if I were to do that, automatically you can see being updated here in the back, and it changed the gutter width. It made the calculation to 15 pixels, and that way I can keep it at 12 columns, and my offset is the same. I can center it, and that way it will center it here, and I can say, you know what, the gutter should actually remain at 30, and then after that it will make the calculations and it will change the column width. So I'm going to cancel, but you see how this can be really useful. And sometimes I'm going to cancel all of that. I'm going to Command C, there you go. So, and for example here, when you're working with responsive, that was a layout grid for 960 pixels, but sometimes you want it to be 1200 pixels. And you can do that easily if you select that artboard and go to View, Canvas, and then click on Layout Settings, and you edit it. Something that comes pretty handy for me is using a website that's called Grid Calculator. And here I can have a calculator that just tells me before I apply something. I can say 1200 pixels, and you know what, it's going to be 12 columns, and the gutter width should be 30, and my margins should be half of that, so it should be 15. And see how it's 70, 30, and I can see it here, it's 1200 pixels. This is the biggest size when you're using a fixed width on Bootstrap, for example. So I can see that same thing is being applied over here. If I go to View, Canvas, Layout Settings, it's 1200 pixels, 30 pixels gutter, and the column width is 70. And here I checked on gutter on the outside, so there's 50 pixels here and then 50 pixels over here on the right. So yeah, if you don't want the gutter on the outside, you can just remove that. And that's it. Hopefully this helps you on your workflow and be a better designer using Sketch.